What is happening, everybody out there? This here is Bobby from the wild and wonderful world of Cherry's Texas Trains. And speaking of wild, if you can't hear what's going on outside, well, then you don't know Texas very much, because it is absolutely pouring down rain and a pretty good thunderstorm outside right now. Here in the Houston area, we've had thunderstorms over the past couple days or so, which is quite a welcoming sight and a welcoming feeling, actually, considering what we've been through over the summer so far. So the rains are here, which is great, but unfortunately that means it has forced me inside rather than out there going rail fanning or whatever. But never fear, because I do have an alternate source of entertainment, and today I'm going to actually, well, entertain you all with some of my form of entertainment, which is actually not playing with model trains, because being in a small apartment you can't actually do that. What I do have, though, is an awesome fun game that I love to call Terrain Simulator 2015. I know what you're thinking. You're looking at that box. You just said 2015, but this box is 2014. Well, let me explain. When I very first bought this game last year, it indeed was Train Simulator 2014. This coming from a guy who used to play Microsoft Train Simulator, which is not a bad game, but you got to kind of move on with the times. But in the middle of last year, the people who made this game, otherwise known as Dovetail Games, they have had a big hand in this, released the update that transformed this game here from Train Simulator 2014 into Train Simulator 2015, giving you all kinds of new locomotives, new rolling stock, new routes, new all sorts of stuff, and a lot of new DLC or downloadable content for those of you who aren't gamers per se. But anyways, I figured I would show you guys how it works. It's I don't think I've ever done a video on this before. I did something with Fraps a while back, which is the sort of software you can use to record your screen, but it turned the game into utter crap because the frame rates went straight down. So what I'm going to do is actually just kind of do it the old-fashioned way, put the camera right here in front of my awesome Dell laptop, and just let you guys see how I play. So I guess, as they say, without any further ado, let's go ahead and turn this game on, and let's hop into the engineer's seat. Alright, so I have gone ahead and actually turned off the lights here so that we can see my screen a little bit better. I'll go ahead and exit out of that. And I do apologize for any bars and stuff that may be going across the screen here, but let's see about getting, let's see about getting our hands on these controls here. So we first will pick a route, and we have a pretty big choice. We have Horseshoe Curve, Marius Pass, Donner Pass, Norfolk Southern's Coal District, which messes up a good bit, Hamburg to Hanover, London Faversham High Speed, Cajon Pass, Colton and Northern, and Rascal to Cottonwood. I'm just going to go traditional, and I'm going to go with Marius Pass, which is the one that I grew up with Microsoft Train Simulator. Now we have to pick a train. Now we have a whole host of different ones we can pick from. I prefer going a little bit traditional here. I'm going to go with the EMD SD70. Select the BNSF Executive SD70MAC, even though it doesn't show the picture of it over here, with 70 covered hoppers. We've got a cloudy day, it's autumn, got it set for the right time, so we just press start. Alright, so I had to adjust the screen there just a little bit, so now we're just going to start up, and now we are in the cab of our SD70MAC. This is one of Electromotive Division's finest locomotives, and probably one of their most common now here in the modern age. Hear a lot of hisses and bangs going off already. Let's switch to the outside view, show you what we got. So today we are in charge of BNSF 8952. We can switch over here. Our trailing unit is 8900, and we go all the way to the back of the train, and we've got 8822 as our pusher. So we've got a heads-up display down here, but I've since dulled it down a bit so that it allows us to actually see a little bit better for an in-cab view. But we'll go ahead and go to the outside view just for now and give it kind of a good angle. First things first, turn our headlights on, signal that we're going. Reverser, all the way forward. That's this blue thing down here. Brakes off. Let it sit for a second. Signal that we're going away. And we should be good. Now our speed limit right now is 20 miles an hour, so we want to stick to that. We have this nice little display down at the bottom. That little tab actually shows us when we have speed increases and decreases. Now you won't exactly have that in real life, but it is pretty awesome to see nonetheless. And what's cool about this is you saw me switching views earlier. You even have a trackside view and can actually freeze it in place. So it's almost like you're rail fanning. So just freeze it here. You can move it around. As you can see, you can zoom in, zoom out. We'll zoom in just a little bit because this has got some great sound effects, like when the train hits the switches here. It actually doesn't sound too bad. Sometimes, depending on your computer, it also may sound a little bit better or a little bit worse. We switch back to the in-cab view here. Cab details of this thing are great too. And you can actually even go outside the cab here. You can switch over to the conductor's view, or go back, or even you got a little menu down here where my arrow is. And go to the external view. Back off the throttle just a hair. We're starting to get close to the speed limit. Still cruising about 18 miles an hour. And now our speed limit has now increased to 70. So now it is time to throttle up and listen to these big boys when they get going. We're now to run 4, doing almost 25 miles an hour. Notch it up to run 5. Run 6. And run 6 is where I usually stay. I don't usually go all the way up to run 8, which is full throttle. So it allows us to stay about 60 to 65 miles an hour. Try to stay within the speed limit. Go ahead and switch back to the in-cab view. Not really much to see in this part here. Hey, you know what? We'll kick it up another notch just a second. And I love the way you can switch the views in this. Like, you can actually go all the way around, even if some of the vegetation gets in the way, like that. But if you actually like a certain point that you actually are at, or you like a certain view, where my mouse is right now in the lower right-hand corner of the taskbar, you can actually click and there's a camera, and it has just taken a screenshot, and you can now upload that as a picture. So we're on relatively flat ground right now, and we're doing about 45 miles an hour, so we'll just leave it here for now. So our speed right now is at 52 miles an hour, and if you wonder what that looks like on a flyby, watch this. Change it to a trackside view, give you a little Doppler. Now, switching views, it can be a little glitchy because you have things like the mountains and stuff up here that have to appear. A lot of crossings already, I noticed that. Our freight cars can't even keep up, it's going so fast. Now, as an engineer, one of the things you have to look out for is little signs along the sides of the tracks here. So you have little signs with W's on them, and that tells you when to start blowing your horn. Oh, there is my sign. And another one. Kick it up to about run 3. Shows our engines are at about 510 RPM or so, which is weird. I did not know that diesel locomotives idle or even run at less than 1,000 RPMs. That's pretty awesome. So now we've kicked our speed up to 37, and we're actually still climbing. Alright, so things have slowed down just a little bit. We now went back into a 45-mile-an-hour zone. Been through a good few miles here on this route. We got about another 128 left to go. And I'll probably get to a stopping point somewhere up here. Currently the locomotives are in idle and we're only doing about 30 miles an hour. Speed limit's 45. I'll just do another run by here. And I'll do it without freezing the camera this time. It's kind of cool to watch. You watched the signal change there, that was pretty cool. Oh, big tunnel. Alright, so right now I think would be a pretty good stopping point. Really nothing interesting coming up anytime soon. So thanks everybody for watching this awesome demonstration of Train Simulator 2015. and I hope to be bringing you guys more videos regarding this simulator pretty soon. So until then, guys, hope you've had a great time, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Take care, everybody, and have a good one.